want to see that. I haven't played a video game, honestly, in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I'm missing out on some crazy shit, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So do they have, like, multiple leagues, like lower level leagues and people in the 80s leagues?
Yeah, like it's all open. So
Okay.
once you get to a certain level of overall rating for your character, you can go out into the playground and you can join like a team that like is like a traveling team, and you play like that's your 5-on-5 team, and like you guys all get on at the same time.
You have a responsibility
For
to
real.
get there
For real.
and fucking show up for practice. Wow.
And so you can do it that way, and then like you know, obviously you rank up faster if you're a low level and you're playing against higher level people. You get more XP points, yada yada yada.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's nuts. So all the sports do that. The FIFA game, NBA.
Yeah, they
Madden.
all have yearly tournaments, and a lot of these guys are like they're set up on. They either have a platform on like Twitch, or Xbox has their own streaming platform. I forgot the name of it.
I've heard of Twitch before.
Yeah, but Twitch was like the first like video game streaming network that was catered to like video gamers, but like other people use it for your platform. If you're like a social activist or whatever, you can have a Twitch channel. It's just like YouTube, but a little more accessible and easier to use.
Really? I watch a shitload of YouTube. And I think that's where I heard about Twitch. I guess I thought Twitch was just kind of like a video game hub sort of thing. I didn't realize it was a platform for like all kinds of shit like that. So it's like another YouTube type thing.
Yeah. There's a newer, more hip, just like TikTok right now is like the new Instagram or the new like Vine.
I've been hearing about that one too. Yeah, Vine, like the mini videos.
Yeah, that's what TikTok is. They're longer videos. I can't get into it. It's too fucking. It's like being inside John Malkovich's brain. You know, like that movie.
Yeah,
it's just like shit that you don't
want to see.
Yeah, some of it's just like why, Yeah. And who has enough time to sit down and fucking make and edit videos about like your dog licking its butthole or
somebody's doing it right now.
For real, man. Like lick it again. They got their phone up.
Wow.
Trying to record dogs. And
Are
shit.
they live stream or they're just pre-recorded?
No, they're
and
just
edited?
pre-videos.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can do live from TikTok or not. I haven't really fucked with it too much.
Didn't they warn that TikTok was being like spied on by China or something?
Yeah,
there was some shit about TikTok
when it first came out. Yeah, yeah, man. It got hacked, I guess.
Oh, and it was hacked. Okay.
Yeah, I mean all that shit.
Someone wanted to hack the dog licking its butthole video and use that against the
We
America.
need this footage.
What the hell? I don't understand the world anymore.
No,
Darius,
it's weird, man. That's why I spend all of pretty much my time either performing, hanging out, cooking at home, or playing video games where I can control my interaction and my stimulations.
Smart.
And
More people need to do that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you have a home, you pay rent, you pay bills, like fucking live in it, enjoy your shit.
Right.
You worked as hard as you did to get there, fucking enjoy it. You don't have to be out in the streets and try to look cool all the fucking time, man.
I agree with that, man. I couldn't look cool if I fucking tried anyway. So.
You look cool right now,
Yeah, dude, my beer.
You got beer, you got a fucking studio.
I guess. I don't know. I gotta talk to the accountant here next month, see if I can write this shit off my taxes.
Yeah,
this is like a business, right?
Yeah,
we'll
dude.
see.
I would fucking I forgot about tax season.
It's coming up, man. I just got a bunch of tax forms in the mail. I'm like, shit.
All the 88 jobs that I had last year is gonna be fun filing all.
Oh man, yeah, you got 1099s and W-2s coming from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right, man. It's better than having none.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, all right, thanks, Mr. Kennedy, for all the money that you paid us. Here's nothing back.
Yeah, it's a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
man.
welcome to America.
That's it. Fucking take everything at the end of the day.
Yeah, man.
Can't take it with you.
Man, fuck it. I don't need a lot of money anyway. I need enough.
I just want to set my bills on auto pay and not really worry about it, and then everything else is just the gravy.
Yeah, that when I had my interview on Friday, I was telling, like, how they ask you questions, you know, where do you see yourself in
Right.
2 to 5 years? I was like, well, by the end of this year, I just want to be able to go to a restaurant and not care about how much things are. I just, for once. And then he's like, okay, all right, chill out. Fucking relax.
You want a sandwich?
Yeah, right? You want a hand? You need a hug or a cookie? Yes.
That's a really good goal, though. I mean,
yeah,
because that's the kind of lifestyle that you don't have to fucking worry about shit as much.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, life is stressful as it is,
That's
man.
right.
It is.
Money doesn't buy happiness, though.
Definitely doesn't. You know, like
Everyone
Puff Daddy said, fucking more money, more problems.
Right.
But, you know, I think a lot of people's problem is just wanting too much, you know?
Greed is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Huge
and I think living in America, it's almost like frowned upon if you aren't greedy.
That's been forever in this country, though. Like the fucking Wall Street movie. Didn't he say that?
Yeah,
like, greed is good.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I get it, business and stocks and stuff, but yeah, it's a sickness is what it is. Like, at the end of the day. Like, how much do you fucking need?
Yeah.
3 yachts?
Yeah, dude. And like, you know, like Puff Daddy said, you got 3 yachts. Now you have to take care of 3 yachts. You have 3 yacht crews. You have 3 docking bills. Like,
exactly.
It's fucking ridiculous,
That's
man.
The truth.
I think that a lot of people don't come from a good sound background where it's not implemented in your early development that you don't have to have all that shit. Like,
right.
You know, like, it's cool to have what you have and like want to do things, or maybe you want a car that you've always liked, and then you buy it, and then you're like, all right, I got that car, and I'm just gonna take care of it now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, material things. I mean, it's not the be all end all of like civilization, but I mean, if you earn it and you work for something, treat yourself. I guess, you know. Yeah, I don't know.
I was watching this documentary called "Where's My Roy Cohn?"
Mm-hmm.
It's on Apple TV, and then I think it's on Amazon or some shit like that. But it's a documentary about this guy who was an attorney, and he was the lawyer for Joseph McCarthy during the Red Scare thing in the 50s.
Okay.
Or the 40s. And Roy Cohn was like, he started, that was his first case, like his first major case. But he came from wealth, like, and one of the funniest things about the documentary that I thought
he was a total communist.
He wasn't he didn't care. He was a capitalist at its fucking core, dude. Like,
okay.
He didn't give a fuck about anyone else. All he cared about was money and like status and power. Like, that was it. He was a true capitalist. You know, because when you boil down to it, that's what capitalism is. Fucking, I want to be more powerful than you. I want to have more than you. I don't give a fuck about anybody else. That is what I want. That's what I'm working for.
There's some truth to that for sure.
But he was he owed a lot of money to the government. He owed millions of dollars in taxes that he didn't pay.
Okay.
But he never had anything in his name. Like, he didn't, on paper, own anything.
Right.
He didn't own his condo that his law office was in.
No assets on paper. So he had some cash stash, supposedly. He owed money, but...
Dude, he had...
Well, how did he make his money? Just being a lawyer?
He made his money by being an attorney.
Okay.
That opened up avenues for him to help out people of power and status, which obviously comes with kickbacks.
Sure. Like senators that are going after...
Yeah, or lobbyists.
Yeah.
But what he did was, the Joseph McCarthy thing put him on the map. He later defended... Henry Ford's like great nephew. Because he was suing Ford because I guess he was shat out of like a contract or something.
Okay. He sued Ford.
Yeah. And one guy was trying to sue Ford. I don't know if he won the case or not, but So that was another case he picked up, and then he defended fucking mob bosses across the board.
He was that guy too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So he was that guy, and then he also, so like segueing into the 60s, he ended up he was embedded in politics. 60 to 70, he did the Ford thing, I think, in 70s. And then towards the end of the 70s, he got into politics. He hooked up with your boy Roger Stone.
No shit.
Roger Stone, if you did not know this, Roger Stone and Paul Manafort were buddies in the 60s. They actually helped Nixon get elected.
I knew they went back with Nixon. I never heard of this Roy Cohn guy, though.
Yeah.
So he was in the mix back in those days.
Yeah, he was an attorney. Like, people would go to him for hookups.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away. He actually died of AIDS.
Oh, no shit.
He was closeted.
Okay.
And so they suspected during the after the Red Scare, so after the McCarthy hearings, there was the United States versus, the United States Army versus Joseph McCarthy, which was a separate trial because Roy Cohn had a crush on this guy, and his name was G. Edward Shine or some shit. And he was McCarthy's assistant. So Roy Cohn had a crush on McCarthy's assistant. McCarthy and Roy Cohn tried to basically, during the draft, they tried to make it illegal for the United States Army to draft this guy because they just didn't want him to get drafted.
Right. They needed him there.
Yeah.
Roy Cohn's in love with him.
Yeah.
McCarthy's this
like,
guy.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm down with this. So they went up against the United States Army, and they had this whole trial that was one of the first televised trials. So this was, they're saying,
how did I never hear about this?
Because no one wants you to hear about it.
No one cared. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this shit.
So they had this trial, which people were saying this was the first reality TV show.
Oh. Before OJ trials and stuff were televised.
Before, way
back.
And also, my bad, I forgot to mention, he also prosecuted Julius and Ethel Rosenberg,
who were executed for spying.
For
with
spying,
Russia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he prosecuted them. He defended others.
Yeah. And
he sued the U.S. Army.
Yeah, he tried to sue the U.S. Army because he didn't want
place.
his crush to go get drafted.
Did he pull it off?
No, he got drafted. Okay. No, they're like, shut the fuck up, bro.
You're all going to Vietnam. Fuck you.
It's like, what are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
We're the government. You're one dude.
You have no case.
And so they actually tried to make fun of him during the trial, while it was being televised. They called him a fairy. They were dude.
They went there back in those days.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Public shame.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so they got all on his case and said a bunch of shit about him. But fast forward a couple of years to Roy Cohn meeting Roger Stone and Paul Manafort. So they started hanging out, and Roger Stone was a big fan of his because he, just the attitude of, I don't fucking care about anybody.
Sue the army.
Yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do. If my boyfriend's going to war, fuck that shit. He's staying here.
Seems like a Roger Stone type attitude.
For real, man.
Yeah, from what little I know about him.
But Roger Stone just, admired him, and picked up pointers. And then, fast forward maybe a couple years after that, Donald Trump comes around. And Donald Trump is a young real estate developer who took a liking to Roy Cohn because of his style and, what he did. And next thing you know,
lawyer.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I fucking love this guy. I want to hang out with him. And they both liked each other. I mean, Roy Cohn thought that he was his protege. And so a lot of how Trump is because Roy Cohn told him, what to do and how to handle his
tactics with business and ruthless shit.
Yeah, just don't fucking care. Lie, deny everything.
Bully everybody.
For real, dude. For real. And that was one of his tactics. He was just like, deny everything, and deflect, and deny. And so he kind of taught Trump those angles, and then, Trump is the way that he is now. But what stopped the whole interaction between Trump and Roy Cohn was Roy Cohn used to hang out at Studio 54.
Well, so did Trump, didn't he?
Well, I mean, yeah, like everybody
the spot for New York.
He used to go, and Roy Cohn would he was very flamboyant, and he would always need to have the most expensive everything, or the best table, the best.
Hanging out with Andy Warhol and shit.
Yeah,
cocaine and
he would, Roy Cohn would like go to events with like a bunch of women, but like everyone that would be in his entourage would be like, Roy's not even talking to those chicks. Like he doesn't even think they exist. It was all for show. Yeah. So when Roy Cohn started to get sick, he actually was so cool with the Reagans that Nancy Reagan and Ronald Reagan first thanked him for getting him elected.
Really? So he was part of that campaign too.
Yeah.
Nixon, basically the Republicans,
more
or less.
Yeah, whoever had the money.
60s on, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because his family, they were all Democrats. Like Roy Cohn came from money in New York. Like his uncle was one of his uncles was the guy who ran and owned Lionel Trains.
Oh, the toy train company.
Yeah. And Roy Cohn actually... So
that's where his money came from.
Yeah, dude. Okay. His money came from... He was old school New York money. And the way that... This cracks me up, and I know I should laugh about it, but it's funny as fuck. The reason why he was even born, he was an only child. His dad was a judge. He was an attorney, and his dad was a judge. His dad was propositioned into marrying Roy Cohn's mom, because Roy Cohn's mom came from this like upper class Jewish family in New York, but she was fucking ugly as shit. She was dirt ugly.
Okay.
To the point to where
objectively ugly.
And this is what they're saying during the documentary. They're like, "Oh, Dora Cohen, she was ugly." Like they were saying that she was so repulsive that they basically got her to get married because his family, the Cohen family her family was so rich and prominent that they were like, "Hey, if you want to be a judge, you got to marry my ugly daughter."
Ooh.
And he's like, "Okay,
it's my chance."
Yeah, fucking just cheat on her until she dies. And so, that's how he came along. And he was the only child. He was extremely intelligent. He graduated Harvard, I think, at the age of 18.
Damn.
Yeah, so he was
just a genius.
Yeah, he
prodigy lawyer.
But fast forward to the late 70s, early 80s, he ends up getting sick, and he's telling everybody that it's like liver cancer. And, what it was AIDS, and he didn't. He denied it. He had a facelift, and he had like the scars from getting a facelift on his face. And somebody asked him if he ever got a facelift, and he said no.
Yeah. Trump lies about that same kind of shit. So
to your face, if you got a fucking doctor cutting your face up right now, he's like, "No, I've never had surgery.
Everything but your eyelids are orange."
Yeah. But I was
just
born
how
like
I
this.
was born.
Wow. Instead of jaundice, I look, citrus.
Roy Cohn taught me all these lies. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. So when he got sick with AIDS, and he started to show. Donald Trump shat on him, dude, and never spoke to him ever again. He fucking cut ties with him. He totally just fucking ignored him. Because during the 80s, that was that decade's Red Scare, you know, they were afraid of gay people. They were afraid of everything. And so, like, you didn't want to associate with him. It was
so it came out that he had AIDS, and that's when...
Well, it came out, but he never admitted to it.
I see.
Yeah, but everybody just knew. I see. Because
Trump
of
distanced himself at that point.
Because of his lifestyle. Roy Cohn, his partner even said he used to have sex every day. And he didn't have sex with men that took care of themselves. And he also, like, went to Studio 54 and fucked around there. And, like...
Yeah, it was, like, pretty much an orgy in that place, from what I understand.
Yeah, I've seen the movie, and then I've seen a lot of documentaries about it. And, like...
Yeah, I just saw one about the owners and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just crazy shit going on in there.
Yeah.
They bring, like, fucking ponies in there, like, have insane parties.
Yeah,
just
you know, a mound of blow.
Yeah.
That movie is actually really good. I forgot fucking Mike Myers is in that movie, and he's one of the club owners.
Really?
Yeah,
I need to see that again.
He's the dark-haired Jewish club owner dude. Yeah. But that's Mike Myers.
Oh man, I gotta check that out again.
Yeah, I fucking forgot about that. There's a scene in that movie where he like literally goes upstairs and then he like. He's got like a mound of coke on this table, and he just shoves his face into it.
Yeah,
and he comes
Scarface
back,
style.
Yeah, for real. He's like, I'm ready to party now, and he goes, it's fucking crazy, man.
I asked my parents recently. I'm like, was there cocaine everywhere in the '80s? Just be honest, you know. I don't know. Not my parents. They're like, no, but you know, I think they were a little older.
Yeah.
Than to, you know, be in that scene.
Yeah,
but yeah, I wanted to know. You hear all these stories about like the '80s, just mountains of cocaine. No one thought it was that bad for you.
Cocaine cowboy shit.
I never saw that one.
That movie is fucking.
Yeah, I heard that was insane.
It is amazing how much cocaine was moving through Miami in the '70s, and like they would pay off everybody, dude. The fucking. The sheriffs, the fucking airports, the fucking boat launch people, like everybody was getting money, and they were moving. Like the guy said, they were making fucking like $5 million a day or some shit like that.
At least.
Fucking crazy.
Like per plane load or something, it was like 5-10 million.
It's fucking crazy.
Well, like the movie Blow with Johnny Depp, that was pretty, I think, accurate as far as, you know, that George Young guy being tied in with that shit. That one dude owned his own island in the Bahamas, remember?
Yeah, fucking...
that's where they tried to have the fire
Diego.
Festival. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's that island where they fucking Ja ruled.
Yeah.
That was a crazy documentary.
It was called like Martin's K or something like that.
Norman K.
Norman K. Yeah,
remember Johnny Depp? Who the fuck is Norman K? That's the name of the island.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Diego, he fucking shows up. Diego's all fucked
Just
up off of blow. He's like, I'll tell you what, George.
You tried to fuck me.
I'm gonna fuck you.
Fuck you.
And he fucking gets him shot and shit.
That's right.
Yeah,
Put the gun in his mouth.
Yeah, dude, that shit was crazy.
It's intense.
Yeah,
I don't know.
man.
Sometimes I wonder, like, these George Young guys. I mean, they played that movie like his daughter never came to see him again, and blah blah blah. But other than that, like, was it worth it? Like, you live a lifestyle of insane wealth and, you know, extravagance, and you got to do some time in prison. But like, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Or what's that dude, Bernie Madoff?
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? $50 billion.
He killed himself, right?
His son did.
Oh yeah, everybody died around him. I thought
I
thought Bernie killed himself. No,
he's still locked up.
His son killed himself. One of his sons died of cancer.
That's right.
And then his wife died of fucking cancer too.
Oh, she did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, that is fucking crazy to me.
There was a great movie they made for like HBO with Robert De Niro was Bernie Madoff.
Yeah,
did you see that?
Oh,
Wizard
man.
of Oz or something like that.
Oh
Wizard
man,
of Oz.
dude,
that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
the son hung himself like on the anniversary of his conviction. And,
yeah, dude.
And he didn't seem to fucking give a shit. He's a sociopath.
Oh my god,
creepy.
Man.
I guess you couldn't even ask him if it was worth it because he has no emotion. He doesn't have any. You know what I mean?
You have to be deranged or committed to not giving a fuck about life or not being like fucking tied down to emotions of life in order to take that much amount of money from people for that long and then see your whole family just fucking disintegrate.
And not only that, people that lost money through his shady deals committed suicide because they thought they were billionaires and then lost everything. And fucking, that's insane.
Yeah, dude.
That dude deserves to be locked up forever.
Yeah, I was pretty upset when I found out. I mean, like, not like I gave him $50 or anything, because I couldn't invest shit into his Ponzi scheme.
A hedge fund.
I'd be like, hey,
where you have to be accredited investor to begin with.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I was upset because I was like, man, there's so many people that don't have shit, and not only that he'd take money from people that did have shit, but like, you could have, if you wanted to be a Robin Hood, you could have like, all right, yeah, I took all this money from all these people, but I built like fucking homes for homeless people.
Right.
Or like, you know, like nobody ever does that shit. Like,
there was a guy, I'm going to tell you a story. There was a guy, nobody talks about him much, but he was like the second largest fraud to Bernie Madoff. His name's Tom Petters. He was from Minneapolis. I actually worked on his airplane one time. It was in Milwaukee. And it was a 727 outfitted as a private jet. So, you know, like a commercial airliner size plane. And he was doing the same thing with Bernie Madoff. He wasn't like a Wall Street guy, but he would, he like bought up some companies and he would fake invoices, and it was like total fraud. He was, they did a show called American Greed. They did an episode about him. And it was called Generous with Other People's Money. Because he would do that. He would like have charities, and he had like a son that died in an accident, so he would like give all this money to different causes, but he stole all of it, and it was like $50 billion.
Wow.
So he's in Leavenworth prison to this day.
Yeah, nobody wants to be like, oh, this guy's a hero.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know a guy who used to fly him around, and he used to just, you know, $1,000 tips to the pilots and shit, cash.
Shit, dude.
But he stole all that money.
We got to break him out of jail, man.
Get him another plane.
Back on the scene.
He was not that bad of a guy.
For real, man.
I don't know.
That's fucking nuts, man.
I don't know if they're going to do a movie about him, but
that would be a really good movie.
There's so many of these fucking Gordon Gekko people.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we need a Roy Cohn to go after him.
That would have been what's that guy? Michael fucking the guy who was the attorney for Stormy Daniels.
Isn't he locked up now?
Yeah, dude.
Avenatti?
Yeah,
is that his
Avenatti,
name?
Yeah. What the fuck,
what was his
man?
deal? I kind of stopped listening to all that shit after a while.
It started with well, I mean, first off, if you're gonna try to sue the president of the United States, you gotta know that they're gonna fucking be on your ass, dude.
Yeah. You think?
You know what I mean? Like, you can't fart in a fucking non-farting area. Like, you gotta fucking go home and fart, get in your car and fart.
But what does he do? He like tries to extort people?
He tried to extort Nike.
That's right.
Because of some deal that they were doing with someone, and he like had some emails and some letters, and he was trying to extort them out of like $40 million or some shit. And of course Nike's like, well, man, fuck you, bro. And then they took it public. And
of course.
He also, oh man, he had like a couple of like 3 infractions on him, I think. That was one of them. Another one was he tried to, he didn't pay some taxes on some shit.
Right.
Which is always what they try to get you with, like, not paying your taxes. When
nobody ever got super rich by paying a lot of taxes.
No, and that's why people that are super rich don't pay taxes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's so true.
That's right, man.
Fucking Jeff Bezos could pay all of everyone's taxes
and not even notice.
Yeah,
he made like $13 billion the other day when his stock jumped, 10%.
God, man, come on,
Dude's got so much money.
Why? You know, like,
it is crazy. Some of those guys signed that giving pledge, though. Have you heard of that? I think Jeff Bezos might have been one of them, but I think Bill Gates and some other guys, Warren Buffett, I'm pretty sure. You'd have to look into that, but it's like a thing where when they die, all their money gets donated to charity, or at least half. There's like some kind of deal, and they sign it. So it's like they're not just going to, give it to their kid or whatever.
Yeah, I know that is, I think the dude who owns Oracle,
Ellison.
Yeah. I think he signed one because I think I saw a documentary about one of his daughters getting mad or some shit because she wasn't getting money from him or something like that. And also,
I'm only gonna get $5 billion.
Yeah, he won't give me all that fucking millions of dollars. I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah.
And then also, I know Warren Buffett has signed that because I think I saw a documentary about his son and one about his son's daughter, I think. And she was like strung out on drugs or something like that, and they just did not they ignored her.
Nothing
like she
for
didn't
her.
exist. So she was like doing drugs with random ass people. Were like, you know who my grandfather is? They're like, Warren Buffett. They're like, bitch, shut up.
And she's broke as fuck.
Yeah, right. No. Shut up and hand me that crack pipe. You fucking parking on the grass.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So
the dark side of the, there's always a dark side.
Yeah, like I think that people that make that much money, like they once they get to that level, they're like, I'm not giving fucking shit to my shitty ass fucking niece or my dumb ass grandson. Like he fucking plays Minecraft all the time. And
well, like the Pritzker family, we have Governor Pritzker now here in Illinois.
Yeah.
And he's a billionaire, and all his siblings are billionaires.
Yeah,
like that whole family, it's like the Hyatt Hotel fortune.
Dude.
They all were suing each other a few years ago for a piece of the family fortune. It's just
dude.
It gets crazy.
Pritzker Pavilion.
Yeah, half of downtown's named after that family.
For real, dude. They have put a lot of money in
They've
Illinois.
done some great things, but I mean, it's just, you get into the family dynamics sometimes. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, man. Just like, and also the owners of the Cubs, man. The Ricketts family. Tom Ricketts' dad, I forgot his name, but he was the originator or the dude who owned and operated TD Ameritrade.
Right.
That was his fucking company that he ran with Tom Ricketts.
He still runs it, doesn't he?
I think he retired and he's on the board now, which basically means like I still run this shit, but I don't have to work here anymore.
Honorary chairman or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And then like Todd, who is also in Trump's camp, he has something to do with it too.
Well, see the guy, he's like governor of Nebraska, or somebody was like in politics in Nebraska.
Yeah, because they are from Nebraska.
Yeah.
But one of the brothers he works for the Cubs, and he's like the CFO, but he also is like he has some dealings with the Trump camp, like he's part of their shit. But then they also have a sister who's a staunch liberal, and she's also a lesbian, and she totally disagrees with like everybody in her family.
Yeah.
And she's part of the Cubs board too. But yeah, man, that's just the dynamic. I mean, same with the Kennedy family. I think they're probably one of the only families that were Democrat from day one, and like that's it. There's no one in that.
That's true when you mention it.
Other than Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he married into the family and he ran as a Republican for the governor of California.
That's right.
But
Shriver, right?
Yeah,
she was like a Kennedy cousin or something.
Yeah, so no, her mom was JFK's sister, and her mom married Sergeant Shriver.
Oh, okay.
Who was, I think he started the Salvation Army or some shit. And he was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why her name is Shriver, because of him. But she's directly she's one of the straight up Kennedys. And
I don't begrudge anybody's success when they've built something good and give back to the community. I mean, I see it firsthand with my 9-to-5 job, so to speak. A lot of really good people out there, but you hear these stories about Bernie Madoff and stuff who just steal everything. It's just disheartening.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people get hurt.
I think a lot of
Enron and shit like that.
Yeah, dude. My dad, my stepdad, Clarence, he worked for Enron.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Did he get fucked over on that?
He left before any of that shit went down.
Thank God, man.
He fucking used to tell my mom's dude, oh my God, he had when I was young, there were 3 stories that I remember, not to a T, but definitely remember hearing my parents talk about. One was when there was a judge in Chicago. His last name was Epstein. I forgot his first name, but his wife was crushed by a like an automatic like steel gate.
Of all things.
And this was like in the early or mid 90s.
Okay. In Chicago.
Yep.
Okay.
And he basically, like, after that happened, he went like a fucking like a banshee on getting like different like fence coating, like security measures for like fences. So I guess like for those automatic you know, for like big ass fucking rich people houses where they have like the fucking folding or whatever, like, you know, the motion detector shit, I guess now is like mandatory or whatever.
Oh, the safety sensors on your garage door so it doesn't fall on you.
All that type of shit.
So this guy pushed that through.
Yeah, because his wife was crushed. And then also another story I remember, because Clarence was in chemical engineering field. He used to work for a company called BTU Contracts, and that was owned by a parent company by the name of Mittler Gases out of Mishawaka, Indiana. And Clarence used to sell certain products to ADA or ADM, Archer Daniels Midland.
Okay.
During that time when that one dude from what's his name, Mark, I forgot his name, but it was the one dude who that Matt Damon movie was based off of, The Imposter or whatever.
I'm Googling it.
But yeah, he, like, when this was going down, I fucking forgot his name, but he
Mark Whitaker?
Yeah, Whitaker, yeah.
Okay.
Clarence was telling my mom about that shit as it was happening back in the day.
Really?
And then he went to jail.
Wait, so what all happened? This dude...
He conned... he fucking... It's a funny story.
Decatur, Illinois-based bioproducts division at ADM.
Yeah.
He became the highest level corporate executive in U.S. history to become an FBI whistleblower.
Yeah.
For 3 years, he acted as a cooperating witness for the FBI, which was investigating ADM for price fixing. Yeah. I kind of seem to remember this from the 90s.
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for embezzling $9.5 million from ADM at the same time he was assisting the investigation. So he's playing both sides of the fence this whole time. Dude. He's stealing money and ratting on everyone else.
Oh my God! So he
wait, and Clarence knew this dude or what?
Clarence knew what was. I mean, because it was when you're dealing with chemicals on the in the most purest form, base level of chemicals. You're dealing with starches, you're dealing with, because what he was doing was there was it all started because their cornstarch, like, you know, which you make syrup, you make everything.
Dude, everything in this country, high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, that's exactly what was wrong. There was something going on with like the molecules or the yeast or something was happening where it wasn't producing cornstarch fast enough, and they thought that somebody tampered with the mixture, so he became a mole.
Okay.
Basically to cover his ass. So he was like, "Yeah, somebody's in here. They're fucking shit up." And then like,
it's not me though.
Yeah. And that was the beginning of it. But then he also basically just said that, you know, like he would go into work and be like, "Yeah, like ADM, Nick, the guy who is his boss, he's like, yeah, their price they're trying to fix prices with this Japanese company, so, you know, like, so the whole market will, you know, everybody will make money, basically, like it'll just be at one level. They won't raise their prices for this, and they won't raise their prices for that, so we'll all just keep making money, and nobody will lose out." So basically it was his idea because he was trying to cover his ass for not producing enough high fructose corn syrup.
Creative.
And then he went and told the FBI that they were doing this. So he would be like, he would tell his boss like, hey, I need like Japan is asking me for like $5 million and they won't say anything about us price fixing. And then he would like go back and tell the FBI like, yeah, they're telling me
they're doing a deal with Japan.
Yeah. So he would like, yeah, dude. So he would like wear a wire, like purposefully fuck the wire up so like they couldn't hear the meeting because they weren't price fixing.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, dude. It was, I mean, the funniest, the movie is fucking hilarious, dude. It is hilarious.
And Matt Damon was in the movie about this whole thing.
All right. He is.
I gotta catch up on so much shit.
It's funny. I own the movie. Because I like it so much.
It says he's out of prison here as of like 2006.
Yeah, he became like a consultant and you know, like, you know, did the whole like book tour and all that shit.
Like the guy that Leo played in Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
he was like consulting for like check fraud after because he kind of knew the ins and outs of all the.
And the same with Jordan, fucking
Belfort.
Yeah,
the Wolf of Wall Street guy.
Yeah. That's what he did when he got out of jail. He immediately was like, hey, this is what we did. You shouldn't fucking do this.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wait,
man.
So what did that have to do with Enron, though?
All right. So, that was another story. And then the Enron story, Clarence left before it got really bad. He knew what was going on. And he's like, I knew Kenneth Lay and like fucking like all this shit, man. And he was like, yeah, so I left, and that's when he went to BTU Contracts.
Wow. Because
he worked for, after Enron, I think he went to like another company that they used to sell like de-icers and fucking antifreeze. Yeah, he used to sell Peak antifreeze, he said.
Okay.
Like
it's a huge name brand.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
he kind of like had a suspicion about these Enron guys.
Yeah, he was like, this makes no sense. And Clarence was a numbers guy. Like he was great at numbers.
So what was their thing? They were like reporting their earnings, but it was based on future assumptions of what they were going to make or something like that.
And they had no way to prove what they were doing. So they just lied for a long time until like they would like fire people, rehire people, and then they have the fucking burn room where they'd have like people shredding all fucking night and shit, like all night shred sessions.
Just straight up destruction of evidence.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Oh my god. But so fast forward to the 2000s, we bought this building from the city. And we were retrofitting it to be...
Your family did. For people that are listening, your family was into real estate for a long time in Chicago.
Real estate and property management on the south side. And so we bought this building from the city of Chicago, and we retrofitted the building to be a LEED certified building.
Yeah. Which is like a green initiative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's certain steps you need to take. One is, in order to have a seal... you have to pass a criteria that's set by the United States Green Building Council. And so that was my job. I was the liaison between our company and the USGBC.
Dude.
And so I had to go and like walk our property, measure, how far a stop sign was from the front door, because there's certain points that you get if you have...
Why would that matter? Like the exhaust of the car or something?
I guess just accessibility, because I guess certain stop signs or bus stops like in a certain area, like a certain mile radius from your place, like you just are in a different bracket. So I had to, like I would go out and I'd measure... or we had to have, a certain amount of grass, or maybe, we installed a green roof on top of the roof, which that helps with insulation. It keeps, cold air in and hot air.
Where there's grass and plants on the roof, growing. Yeah. I think City Hall downtown does that.
Yeah. We were one of the first, we were probably one of the first buildings on the south side of Chicago to have a green roof.
That's fucking badass, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
We got nothing back from the city. We got no kickbacks, no tax breaks. They fucked us.
Even from Chicago? No kickbacks?
We got fucked, man.
Oh, come on.
And so, make the long story short, we were turning. It was going to be called the Chatham Executive Building, and we were trying to get aldermen in there, or U.S. representatives to have their office in there.
Okay.
Or like a dental office, and then like storefronts on the first floor. And so we were gonna furnish the office, and it was just gonna come furnished. And guess where we got all of our furniture from? The fucking flash sale at Enron.
When they liquidated the headquarters?
We got fucking desks,
really?
Fucking chairs, side tables, end tables. And it was all solid mahogany.
Oh,
fucking,
of course.
Dude, it was the best. Heavy ass shit.
What year would this have been?
Oh, my God.
Probably 2005,
Yeah, it was like 5, 6, yeah.
In 2005, I worked on an airplane out at Aurora Airport, and I had to go through like the maintenance records, and I start flipping through pages, and it's got Enron all over it.
Oh, fuck.
So this was their airplane.
Oh, shit.
So whatever, it got sold or, nabbed up by the government and sold. And I forget who even owned it at the time, but yeah, I remember being on the airplane. I was sitting in one of the seats. I'm like, yeah, they probably hashed out all kinds of fucking schemes here, like
God, dude, sipping on expensive scotch.
Yeah,
fucking let's fuck them. Fuck it.
We gotta project our earnings and make some shit up. Are they shredding?
They better be shredding tonight.
Yeah. And one of the dudes was the brother of Tom Skilling. Right? Remember that? The weatherman and
I think I remember
his brother's Jeff Skilling. He's in prison for that.
Oh, shit, dude. That's why Tom Skilling's so nice. He's like, I got to make up for it.
Yeah. Of all
put this name back on the map.
Tom Skilling is really nice. I've actually met that guy, by the way. He's a nice
he
guy.
seems painfully nice.
I would, that's exactly how I would.
God, man. Who could ever be mean to that guy?
Dude, you can't. His brother's doing his time,
Yeah, he's doing his
He'll be in there for a while. I think the Kenneth Lay guy died.
Yeah,
right
he died
before
of
he went
cancer,
to jail.
I think.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wait, so whatever happened to the building then, this executive building?
It was turned over to the bank.
Because this was 2005, so then the financial crisis happened.
Yep, you got it right, man.
Fuck.
And so once that housing bubble and all those bad loans came to fruition,
God damn it.
We handed the building back. Complete. It was complete. It was about 95% complete.
Wow.
And it's still sitting there, man. Uninhabited. Just sitting there. Windows, it's still intact.
Where exactly is this? You said Chatham. That's that neighborhood. Where's that at?
It's on 79th Street, and it would be like 79th and Champlain.
Okay.
So it's like a block or two west of Cottage Grove on 79th Street.
Okay.
And like 6 blocks east of Martin Luther King Drive. So it's in between those two major streets on 79th Street.
That was probably going to do wonders for that area with jobs and just like nice office space and everything.
And that's why we were trying to get a U.S. rep in there or
right.
alderman, because it would force the area to pay attention to the violence. Eventually, because on that corner of Cottage Grove, 79th Street and Cottage Grove, there's always gang activity. There's 2 liquor stores over there. It's always fucking busy. And there's always like rival gangs fighting and shooting each other in that area. And we were thinking, all right, well, it would be great if we had a government official here and like more security so that, a lot of this shit would die down. And we were really looking to change that area of the neighborhood, but the alderman wasn't on board. And then the city just doesn't give a fuck, man. Like, They don't care if it's not in Lincoln Park or Lakeview or the prominent areas. Like, they don't give a fuck, because that's what people are supposed to do on the south side. Is supposed to shoot and kill each other, and like that was it. So it was frustrating, man, because we put a lot of work into that. Like, I remember going to architecture or architect meetings and trying to figure out like, you know, walls and how to fit in a fucking elevator shaft and like.
No shit.
It was
so like the actual design, you had to be integrated in that for the LEED certification. So you were involved in the whole construction of this building.
Yeah, from ground. I mean,
wow, man, that's a huge project.
Yeah, it was a great project, man. I loved being a part of it.
That's so sad that did not come to fruition.
Yeah, dude, that was part of the demise of our company and a lot of the stress that my dad was going through and my mom was going through like during that period, man. So there was a lot of ill will that I had towards just construction and housing and the city during that time because it added for a lot of stress, man.
Yeah.
And you remember when we went out to dinner for your birthday and I was talking about when I had those bad migraines, and that was during that time.
Yeah.
That I was so stressed out that I thought I had a fucking brain tumor and I had to get, you know, a CT scan because of all that stress and shit. But yeah, man, it would have been really nice.
That's crazy.
It would have been really nice, man. Fucking green roof and all that shit.
A lot of people got really fucked in 2008. You know, my dad, he happened to get laid off from his job right in like the fall of 08. And he had a rental property. Of course, it was like one of those interest-only mortgages, and everything was great because property values were going up. So he loses his job, the housing market crashes, and he hasn't paid off any of the loans. So he got pretty well fucked on that too. You know, I mean, he's doing fine now. He's retired at this point.
Yeah.
We play golf and stuff every couple of weeks during the summer. And talk about football during the winter, but yeah, I mean, it was just a rough time for everybody.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking super tough, man.
Yeah.
But you know, it's also life and it's a learning experience, and then you pay more attention to the shit that you do, and then you project, you know, more, and you're like, all right, well, I know if something happens now, then I got to make sure that yada 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 is taken care of, but.
Yeah, but if we all had a crystal ball, we could see the shit coming. I mean, you know, I bought my last place we lived in, right in 2009. So the whole thing started to kind of collapse, and prices were down. I thought I was kind of getting in. It hadn't bottomed out yet. So, you know, I was underwater on that place for a while. It's just, you know, you can't time everything perfectly all the time.
Yeah, man.
You get caught up in this wave of bullshit that you have nothing to do with how it started.
Yeah. And then you got people that
nobody went to jail for that one.
Yeah.
No. The whole housing crash. I mean, we've seen like The Big Short and like all these, you know.
Yeah. Other than Lehman Brothers fucking collapsing and shit.
Some banks went out of business, but they also got a big bailout. Some of the other ones that survived, obviously.
Dude, I mean, like, this shit's crazy to me because the first time the first time I was in New York, I want to say, I don't know if it's the first or the fucking second, man. I think it was the first because my cousin was there. We went, we landed in New York, and Lehman Brothers had just collapsed and shut down that day.
Okay.
And we ate at
chaos.
Dude, it was fucking weird.
Yeah.
We ate at a steakhouse literally across the street
on Wall Street, like right.
It was off of Times Square ish.
Okay.
So it was that building that had Lehman Brothers at the top, and then like the ticker running.
Oh yeah. Everyone's seen that before.
We were eating at a steakhouse that, like, if I walked to the window, like, and I looked up, that's what I saw. And I wasn't paying attention to any of this shit during that time, but I remember my mom, like, just like, this is crazy. And she was talking to one of, like, our servers. And our server was like, yeah, we've had a bunch of guys in here just drinking and crying.
Oh, man.
And he was like, it's been a weird day. I was like, sitting there, I'm like, I just want to eat this fucking sirloin right now. And fucking, I remember that steak like I ate it yesterday. I remember. Fucking, it was amazing.
Just the vibe in the room, and just like everyone's in shock.
Yeah, dude, it was just a quiet. I'd have never really hung out in New York, but we were at a steakhouse and it was quiet, and I felt that was very weird.
Everyone's just so depressed.
Yeah, just eating their last porterhouse at this place.
Man.
but I had dude, I had a bomb ass steak. I had a sirloin.
The chef was on point,
dude.
that
He
day.
was crushing it. I had this Parmesan crusted sirloin.
Oh yeah,
with this rosemary and truffle wine sauce.
Damn. What's the name of the steakhouse?
I don't even remember the name of the steakhouse, dude. It's probably not even there anymore. You know, the turnover rate of fucking restaurants in New York.
In a city.
But it was fucking amazing, man. And that's really why I remember that day, is because I remember eating that steak and I remember my mom going like, yeah, they just shut down. I was like, that's crazy. This steak was fucking awesome, though.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Crazy, wild shit.
Yeah, I know some of those guys still went on to do big things. I mean, like the old CEOs of some of those banks. I know, you know, they're like, some of them own baseball teams now.
Yep.
You know, they're still out there.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, they all landed on their feet just fine. Most
when
of them.
Yeah, when you're that wealthy and connected, you can carve out a path for yourself somehow.
Sure. And they're obviously smart businessmen, and they know what the fuck they're doing. It's just, you know, nobody really saw that bubble coming. I don't think.
Fucking crazy, man. The Big Short, that was a good movie, though.
That was. Steve Carell was fucking awesome in that.
Yeah, dude, he was. I like that a lot, and also Christian Bale too.
Oh yeah, he was like that offbeat heavy metal guy, and he's like the only one that saw it was coming.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts, crazy, dude. Man.
They're all based on real people, I guess. I mean, didn't it kind of summarize at the end, like most of those movies do? Like, where are they now? Yeah,
he was in. I think he was in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
His character, I don't remember his name.
Well, the Brad Pitt guy, too, was kind of like, he had left Wall Street and was tired of it, and then he's like, all right, we'll get back at him one last time.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that was to life, but...
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't know what that ball game's all about, man. I've never sat down at that type of table and had conversation. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
You were close, though. I mean, getting a building put together in Chicago like that, you know. If only that had kind of gone through first, you know, like...
Yeah. That was
6 months difference in time. You guys would have been awesome.
Yeah, man. It was a cool project, and even having that experience of working in property management for as long as I did, I still couldn't find a position working in property management even to this day.
Really?
Like, they want you to have a bachelor's degree, you got to have a leasing certificate, like all this dumb shit, and it's really not that fucking serious, man.
No.
Just to find people places to live. Like, you have an apartment, you fucking do a background check.
Right.
You put them in that place and you take care of it.
There's not... I mean, I'm a landlord with our old place. Jesse and I, we rent out the old condo that we lived in. And that's it. You get their credit report, you get a couple pay stubs, and you kind of decide, like, okay, yeah, they pay their bills on time. Good. Yeah. There's really no other reason you can turn somebody down anyways. Not that you would. You know,
man.
You want to help somebody out. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it's a rough one
rocket science, but
it's not hard, man, and it's something that I enjoy doing too, because it's very easy. It's very easy to, all right, so your faucet's broken, cool, we can get a new faucet in there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everything else okay? All right.
Yeah, you get that call, the pilot light's out, the toilet's loose. Okay.
All right, yeah, no problem. You need a new wax ring, cool.
Exactly. Yeah, our tenants have been awesome too. They've been, you know, they pay everything on time. They tell me whenever, as soon as anything's fucked up or broken, and I'm out there. So,
yeah, dude, and it's great to have good tenants. It takes a lot of stress off of you, especially if you're, you know, you don't live down the street from your fucking place.
Exactly, it's like 45 minutes from here,
so you don't have to go over there and beat people up and shit when they fucking.
That's when I'll need you. You got a new job doing collections and shit.
Yeah, dude, I'll call them and with the serious voice. But, dude, some of the shit, like, I loved working in property management, but I saw so much shit.
Really?
I had my life threatened numerous times.
Really?
Dude, oh, my God.
Just because they knew you kind of...
people don't like knowing that they owe money. And a lot of the times, depending on the building and the area, you knew... you know, like Monday morning or Sunday, we would get a call from a tenant like, oh, someone kicked down the door, like the entrance to the building. And then you get another call like, oh, I had to call the police because somebody was fighting in this unit. So you knew that the people that had the fight in their unit probably kicked the door in.
Right.
And you'd like, oh, I'm a fucking investigator right now. And like, you'd be like, all right, cool. So, all right, you didn't kick the door in. So you mean somebody else was angry in the building.
Yeah.
It
wasn't your fist fight that caused the damage.
Oh my God. So
just a coincidence.
We had a lot of that. Like, we had a guy one time break into someone's apartment on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Which he was in another building and then put a plank from that building to this.
He scaled the gangway with a plank.
And he broke in, and this lady was in there sleeping because she worked nights and she slept during the day. And she was in there sleeping, and the dude got scared and then jumped out of the window, fucking fell. He survived, but he was fucked up.
Oh, good. Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
honestly.
Oh, my God.
That's what you get, man.
Probably the worst day. I was at work. A kid had passed away in one of our units. In an apartment where the lady who lived there was evicted like 4 days before. Okay. Because she hadn't paid her rent in like 8 months.
Yeah.
And so she was evicted. She broke back in her place and slept in there with her kids. One of her daughters wasn't, she had diabetes that was untreated and undiagnosed. Man. Fell into a diabetic coma in her sleep and then fucking passed away.
But they're squatting in this unit at the time.
Dude, it was the worst day
That's rough.
Man. Oh man, because we used to have cameras in some of the buildings, and my dad used to just sit in his office and had a monitor with all the fucking buildings and cameras and shit. And one day he was looking at one of the buildings. He was like, "There's 9 cop cars out front." He's like, "Darius, go over there and see what's up." So I leave Home Depot. And I drive over there and I see some sheriffs and I see city police. And I walk around the back and I see like just chaos, man. People, it was a 28 unit building. So we had people on different balconies that were like looking at this one unit where the mom was just screaming to the top of her lungs and fucking flipping out. And
how old was the girl? Like,
she was like 2.
Oh, like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude. So I walk up to one of the cops and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm the landlord. He's like, "Yeah, a kid died upstairs." I was like, "What?" And so I talked to like one of the tenants and they explained what happened. But the mom was just like
hysterical.
Dude, she was she was fucking screaming. So I call back to the office and I tell them what's going on.
You almost just want to let her live there for a while longer.
Ooh,
it's like,
dude, I was like, and this was like the first thing that I had done that day. It was maybe like 9 or 10 in the morning. And I was like, I'm fucking done, man. I was like, this is too much.
That's crazy.
I think I left early that day, but I told my mom. My mom came over, and my mom was the person who went to court to evict this lady. This lady just fucking screaming and yelling and threatening my mom, and she wanted to fucking kill my mom. And like, I'm like, all right, now you're threatening my mom, and like, I understand what's going on, but like, that's
crossing the line.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's not her fault, you know. It's not my mom's fault at all.
Of course not.
And nobody wants your child to pass away because you didn't pay your fucking rent. That's crazy.
One kind of has, I was going to say one has nothing to do with the other, but obviously they're, you know, if you're unemployed and broke, you don't have the health care or the rent money. So it's kind of related, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah. And
it's sad is what it is.
Yeah, it was, and it just hit me, and I was like, I can't do this, man.
You got a 28 unit building. That's one building.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got hundreds of tenants scattered around.
Dude, stories galore. There's always something going on. You know, we had one lady who was paranoid schizophrenic, and she fucking barricaded herself in her unit with her child, and like wouldn't answer the door. And then, we started to freak out because her family would call us and to do like a wellness check. And she changed the lock so I couldn't get in. And then one day...
well, at what point can you tell them, like, no, you got to call the police to do a wellness check? Like, how is it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
why would they call you?
You got to take into consideration, too, not a lot of black folks want to call the cops.
Right.
Like, and especially in, in the hood, nobody wants a cop come knocking on your door.
Forgive my naivete.
No, it's all good, dude. And then also...
like, just call the police. They'll help you.
And a lot of the times, cops don't give a fuck, and they won't show up. And then,
yeah, I've heard that.
Or they'll show up 5 hours later, and you're just, like, sitting there waiting for cops to maybe show up.
Thanks for the wellness check.
Yeah, so we ended up getting in there, and she had taken her peephole out of the door, and then she put, like napkins and shit
in there,
which was just fucking wild, man. But it turned out that I think the child's father picked him up, and then she like went nuts and literally, she ended up in like DC, like just took a bus to DC, like with nothing.
Just disappeared and ended up there somehow.
Dude, yeah, because she didn't take her medicine.
Oh, man.
And so, yeah, like her family found her. I guess somehow they contacted us, and we were doing this whole, like, missing persons thing.
Shit.
And they
but
found
you knew
her.
the kid was safe at the time.
Yeah, kid was safe. Yeah. But, like, her family was looking for her, and then they found her in D.C., and then they, like, had to go get her. Wow. And she had to get back on her medicine and shit. There was another lady one time. This lady tried to fucking... She was also schizophrenic. I think she was bipolar. And where our home base, where our office was, we had 28 units in that building.
Fuck.
And it was it used to be a hotel, like back in the fucking early 20s.
Okay.
And I found this out. Well, I knew it used to be a hotel, but I looked at like one of the old phone boxes, and where all the phone lines run through, it was like a circuit box, and you could see stickers and like lead pencils from like inspectors for the electrical company that like marked off the date, and like they were fucking the 20s,
1920s.
Like, yeah, G. Smith, fucking 1920.
Holy shit.
Fucking F. Thompson, fucking 1935.
So this is like all original wiring and everything.
Yeah,
in this
old
building.
school.
Okay.
So what this lady did, she lived in the building, and what she did was she started cutting those wires.
Oh shit. These were still active phone lines and stuff? Okay.
Landlines and shit. And so she started cutting these wires, and then people started calling like, AT&T like every 2 days. So I started seeing this AT&T truck at my building like for a whole week. I'm like, what's going on, man? What are you guys doing? Installing new lines or some shit?
Right.
And they were like, no, maintenance call. And like, someone's phone isn't working. And I was like, what the fuck? So we found out that one of the tenants found her like cutting the wires. And then she started cutting all the wires for cable TV throughout the building.
She was like paranoid or something?
Yeah, dude. Okay. She said, oh my gosh. She said that the wires were hurting her brain and her heart. So she had to cut them.
Naturally.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
But since the building was a landmark type of building, like an old building, they didn't drill through the facade when they were installing cable lines. So what they do in like old buildings is they drill through like a hole from, the line outside, and then they they encase the wires in like a plastic or PVC type, like it looks like a little square box, but they usually have it the same color as the paint or the whatever theme you got, so it kind of blends in.
Right.
But it runs like in the corner of your fucking ceiling and shit, so it's not.
Oh sure, yeah, I've seen that before.
So you see it, but it's not like standing out and shit.
Right.
So she like opened up one of the casings and started cutting that, and then people's fucking shit, and then like.
Right.
So we found out that she was doing this. Told her daughter. Her daughter's like, yeah, she's not on her medicine. And I went upstairs because somebody was like, hey, she's here right now. You might want to come upstairs. So I like walk upstairs with Clarence. And we're in the building walking around, and she's walking around the hallway with a drywall saw. And she's like, I'm gonna fucking fuck you up. So she starts yelling at Clarence
with a jagged drywall saw.
Clarence is like, okay. Like, he just thought it was fucking funny too.
Ex-Nebraska Cornhusker football player.
Yeah, come at me, dog.
Okay.
I'll knock you over with one fucking stiff arm, lady. So she started threatening him, and she ended up running out of the building. So my mom called the cops. And then she threatened my mom, like, because we had a huge picture glass window that was in our storefront, which was our office. And she was just standing out front and, like, fucking threatening. My mom's like, I'm going to fuck you up, bitch. I'm going to fuck you up, bitch. And my mom's like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Like, and so she was, like, threatening us. We called the cops, or she called the cops. Mm-hmm. Maybe, like, 5 minutes later, one of the sergeants from the precinct that was near us pulls up on the sidewalk across the street and was just watching her act crazy.
Really?
And then he rolled up with his partner and he was like, hey, bitch, put that fucking shit down. You ain't no carpenter. That's what he said. I was fucking dying, dude. Oh, my God. I was fucking dying. He said, you ain't no fucking carpenter. Put that down. And I was fucking dying.
But how did he know she's not a carpenter?
Yeah, man, because she was wearing like a muumuu. Oh my God, dude, it was fucking.
You should write a book, man.
Oh my God, dude, it'd take forever.
Landlording on the south side of Chicago, 101.
And I mean, relatives have told us that like plenty of times, man. I've seen some shit. Like, I've seen my dad kick a door down once with a fucking, like, a 3-piece suit on. Because, like, we got called. We were out at dinner, dude. We were downtown at the Signature Room.
Yeah, top of the John Hancock building.
Yep, having dinner, like, having a good old, like, Friday night.
Nice dinner.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. We get a call from one of our tenants that, like, somebody broke into the basement. So, my dad is, like, he's fucking, like, probably, like, 3 Tanqueray gins in, and he's like, let's fucking go, Lisa. Yeah, let's go, Lisa. And we fucking drive down the south side. My dad's got his trench coat on, fucking suit, because he was fresh out of a meeting or some shit.
Yeah.
And we went around in the back, and we heard these guys, like, in the basement, and they were, like, yelling at each other and shit, and they were fucking playing dice. They were shooting dice.
Okay.
And so my dad was like, who's in there? And one of these guys was like, mind your fucking business. And he's like, what? And he goes, mind your fucking business. And my dad's like, all right. And he starts kicking his own door
Since
down.
I own the building, yeah, I'll mind my fucking business.
He starts kicking the door down, and he yells at my mom. He was like, Lisa, go get my gun. He didn't even have a gun.
Yeah, that's all you got to say, though.
And so this guy, you hear him inside. He's like, all right, man. All right. Hold up. He's like, get the fuck out of my building. He's like, I own this building. He's like, I don't know what the fuck you doing there. He's like, get the fuck out. And these guys like, all right, man, my bad, bro, my bad. And he fucking leaves and shit.
Dude, and Clarence is a fucking badass,
yeah,
dude.
He was,
from the Signature Room right to the fucking dice game.
For real,
kicking
dude.
indoors.
He's just universal, dude.
That dude's awesome.
So, yeah, man. I've seen that dude almost beat up a couple people in my life, man. He was not one to fuck with, dude. It was.
Well, I'm glad I didn't piss him off too bad when we were growing up, because, man, he was always so chill. Like when I would be over at your house and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, he was at home, man. Like, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about, like, he had worked his ass off all his life to have that home, to be able to, like, you know, have a big TV and watch his movies freely and buy a DVD player and, like, you know, rent movies from Blockbuster when they did that shit.
Chemical engineer, property owner, landlord. Dude.
Yeah, man. And he got into property ownership through my mom. So when my mom, before my mom met Clarence, before my mom met Clarence, she worked in the fashion industry. Mm-hmm. She actually used to work for this company called Hart, Schaefer and Marks. And
I've heard of that company.
Yeah, they make fucking suits.
Right.
And Hart, Schaefer, Marks shut down, and then they just became Hart Marks, and then they laid her off. And but before that, she before we moved out to the burbs, before my mom even knew Clarence, my mom owned the building that we lived in.
That's right.
Yeah,
I remember that now. I was at that. You brought me there for some reason. We were with your parents.
Phillips, yeah. But I grew up in that building, and my mom got her real estate license at the age of like, I don't know, like 28 or some shit, and fucking bought the building that we lived in, and then still worked, and then, you know, she met Clarence years after that, and then
how'd she meet Clarence?
Pretty crazy, man. Well, we used to go to this soul food restaurant in Bronzeville by the name of Gladys's. And it was, you know, it was a staple back in the day. Like when it was open, you know, every Saturday it'd be fucking packed. Every Sunday after church it'd be fucking packed. So we went there to get breakfast with her friend Alita and Alita's daughter Aisha. And it was just us four, and we were waiting for a table because you know, like obviously if, you know, place is busy, usually about 5, 10, 15-minute wait, whatever. Right. So we're waiting for a table, and we're in the dining room kind of just shooting the shit, you know, talking, because this was before cell phones, so no one was just staring at their phones.
People talk.
Yeah, you had to talk to each other and kind of, you know, look around and shit. So waiting for a table, and this huge dude kept staring at my mom, and I was like, I don't know who this fucking dude is, but at the age of 6 or whatever I was like, I'm gonna fuck him up if he keeps looking at my mom.
Right.
But he kept looking at my mom, and he's like looking at his watch, and he's looking at my mom, and eventually he came over to my mom, and he introduced himself, and he's like, hey, you know, how you doing? My name's Clarence, and I just wanted to give you my business card. And they talked a little bit, and he was like, well, I'm going to Japan, but I'll be back in a month, and when I get back, would you like to go on a date? And she was like, oh, well, I'll think about it, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So my mom was like, this motherfucker ain't going to Japan. Like, black people say shit all the time to impress people.
I'm just going to go to Japan.
Yeah, girl, I'm going to Japan. Like, I'm at this soul food restaurant right now, but, like, I'm going to Japan for a month.
Was he wearing the 3-piece suit that day?
No, I think he was wearing, like a T-shirt and a hat, maybe. He was, you know, like, loungy
casual,
gear.
Whatever.
Probably some Zuba pants, because he used to have a bunch of fucking pairs of those. But he fucking he introduced himself to my mom. They, you know, traded information, and the reason why he spoke to my mom is because his girlfriend at the time was late, and I guess he was just like done with her shit.
Fuck it, there's a beautiful woman right
dude,
there.
Fuck that
I'm
shit.
going for it.
Exactly, dude. And that's how they met, man. Wow. And then, like, they started hanging out, and he, you know, used to come over to the building. My mom would make dinner for him and shit. It was like when my mom was, like, trying to impress, like, she would fucking, you know, fucking crab legs sometimes. Right. I was like, why are we eating all this nice shit?
Yeah.
You know?
First time I ever had crab legs, by the way, was at your house. Not in the south side, but when you moved out to the suburbs.
Yeah, man.
I still remember that.
Yeah. Fucking, she's still making them.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Pretty much every New Year's Eve, we eat crab legs. Nice. King crab legs.
Yeah.
So, and then for my birthday, sometimes she'll make me gumbo and shit.
Nice.
But yeah, they met, and then they dated for a couple of years, and then my mom kind of lived in the city, but lived at Clarence's place in Northbrook. And then, like, I would go out there on the weekends sometimes and shit for my grandfather's house. And then they got serious, and then, you know, we went and viewed the house in Mundelein before we moved out. I remember that day. I remember, like, rolling up in the middle of nowhere and, like, fucking, they didn't even have grass. House. Yeah, they didn't even, the grass wasn't even grown.
Oh, it was just built.
Yeah.
I see.
The people that owned that house before us didn't have kids, and that was like their dream house, and they built it, and they couldn't even fucking live in it.
Really?
And then a black couple comes and
so
fucking
it becomes available.
Yeah, dude. And they were just like, God damn it. Oh, we're fine. You'll buy it.
Damn.
So
that was a nice house.
Yeah, man.
So that you were 6 when she met Clarence, and then I met you when we were like 10 or 11 or something like that. Yeah. However old you are in 5th grade.
Yeah, man.
So, man, shit.
Yeah, dude. That was
crazy how things
fucking
transpire.
Wild. Yeah, dude. It was fucking wild, man.
And we were both new to that school in 5th grade, so we were both friendless. And I'm like, hey, man.
You're new?
We're both new. What's up?
Yeah, dude. That's that period of my life, you know, and it's almost to the point to where I don't remember that much before I moved out to Mundelein. You know, I was in 4th and 3rd grade. I remember a couple friends I had here and there.
Where'd you go to grade school before Fremont, which is the suburb school?
I went to a school in Pullman. I went to 2 schools, from kindergarten to, I want to say 2nd grade. I was at Edward Cole's, which is off of Jeffrey in South Shore neighborhood, and on the south side. And then I went to Wendell Smith, which is down the street from my grandfather's house on 105th or 103rd and Cottage. And I was there for a couple of years, and then you know, 5th grade I was in out in Mundelein, man. And that was fucking wild, you know.
That had to be fucking culture shock. I mean,
it was totally, man. It was. I didn't understand why everybody loved B96 so much. I was like, 107.5 is that shit. I don't know what you all's problem is. Why we listen to...
Is that still the same thing, B96?
They probably do play that.
Party Bash. Whatever.
Yeah, dude. Everything that's on those Now CDs. Now, 48. Fucking La Boucher. And fucking Ace of Base.
Ace of Base.
For real, man.
I remember that.
Another night, another dream. That was the fucking jam.
It's the worst music ever.
Oh my god, dude, the worst. Yeah,
I got into like Q101 when I was like 10, 11. And I listened to all the like grunge shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
but, I do remember all that B96 stuff too.
Yeah, dude. All that shit, man.
Definitely not what you were listening to.
Fuck, man.
The South Side.
It was, dude. It was. I literally.
I'm like, hey, do you like Nirvana? You're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, 5th grade was my introduction. Really, my introduction into rock was. So Clarence used to get boxes of CDs and VHS tapes from his ex-girlfriend, who he like basically dumped for my mom. And she would send him shit from like Universal Studios and MCA, and like we would get like boxes of fucking movies, dude. Like there were screeners.
How'd you get those?
I have no idea.
I have
no idea. And
all
like
right.
when they were like brand fucking new movies, dude. Like, you know, like shit that
like not at family video yet. Basically.
No. And there were screeners, so you know you'd be watching the movies, and then it would pop up like property of MCA, you know, at the bottom of the screen, and then we'll fade away. But like that's how I saw People Under the Stairs, dude. All those movies, dude. That one Martin Short movie where he gets stung by a bee and he's in like a helicopter or like a
what was that called?
Yeah, I fucking forgot. Like Twins, all that shit.
Yeah, right.
But she used to give him like music too, so that was the first time I had like heard Bob Marley album from start to finish. And it was because of her I got to listen to Jimi Hendrix, and that's how it started. Like,
okay,
Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced, the whole album CD. I'm fucking obsessed over that shit. And that was my intro to rock, and then, you know, like Pearl Jam and grunge and Silverchair and fucking Nirvana.
Well, you picked up the bass somewhere in middle school, I remember.
Yeah, 8th grade, man.
8th grade.
Yeah, started playing
Bush songs at the school dance, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, dude, we were Milk. That was our band.
Milk, that's right.
We were fucking Milk.
Dave Steppen, shout out to Dave on drums. Anthony Jameson.
Yep.
That ginger fuck on guitar or whatever.
Oh man.
And you on bass.
Yep. And then and Scott Taggart on
Scott Taggart
on the guitar.
I remember him too.
Yeah, I ran away to his house when I was like, yeah, dude, when I was in like 6th grade or 7th grade, I ran away to his house because my parents used to travel a lot. And I think at this time they were in like Austria. Yeah, dude, they were in like, they went to Austria and then they went to Monaco.
Damn. Yeah. That's a nice trip.
And they left me with this lady who was supposed to like take care of me and shit, but she was bulimic. Yeah, dude, she would like.
Where'd she come from? Family friend or something?
Yeah, a friend of a family friend's.
Okay.
But she like, I don't remember how old I was, but 6th or 7th grade, but she would come in from whatever she was doing and like raid our fridge, and then she would go puke it up in the bathroom. And I was like, what is this? What's going on?
Yeah, this is new.
Yeah, so I like told my mom, I was like, every time she eats, she goes in the bathroom and she throws up. Wow. I'm like, it's weird. So she left me with that lady, but that lady would like leave me for hours because she would go take care of her like grandkids. So like I would be at home, like one day I was just like, I'm fucking sick of this shit, man. So I left.
Going to Scott's house.
Yeah, I'm going to Scott Taggart's house. I'm going to Hawthorne Woods. I'm running away. Wow. So I like called Sophie and like Liz and like fucking Scott Taggart and like rode my bike up to Hawthorne Woods. Fucking went to a bunch of garage sales. And bought like some knee pads for my rollerblades for like $5.
Like, all the shit to do.
I was like, I'm gonna
when you're running
myself
from your bulimic babysitter and buy some knee pads.
Oh man, she's gonna need these for the next time she goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, when she's blowing chunks.
Oh my god. So yeah, I did that, and then I went over to Scott Taggart's house, and I like admitted to Scott Taggart's parents that I had ran away that day because my babysitter was just weird. And then they called like McHenry or Lake Zurich cops, and then Hawthorne Woods cops, and then Hawthorne Woods cops dropped me off in Mundelein.
The Hawthorne Woods cop.
Yeah. And they took me back home, and then like my parents were back at that time, and they were like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" I was like, "She's throwing up whenever she eats food."
It's freaking me out.
I'm fucking freaked out, and she left me home all day for 2 days. Like, what the fuck?
I bet Clarence told her to fuck right off.
My mom, dude, they both did. I mean, they were upset that I was smart enough to not stay out like late, Right. Like I think I got home around like 7. And
that's not even really running away. That's just getting out of there for a little while.
Yeah. I was like, I can take care of myself,
Dude, you know who I remember was your babysitter? Mama Dorothy.
Oh my God, man. That's fucking
that's ingrained in my memory.
Yeah, man. Yep, dude. Yeah, she was staying at the house before she passed away. Like, I think a couple years before she passed away, she stayed with us because she lived in the city, and her husband, Archie, at the time was just like a fucking asshole.
Okay.
And my mom was like, fuck that. She's like, you're staying with me. I'll take care of you. Yeah, but she used to get on my nerves, and I used to get on her nerves. And
I remember her being hilarious. Yeah, I don't know why. She just was like
super nice, man.
Yeah.
And Mama Dorothy's dad was he was Irish and Cherokee Indian.
Oh shit.
Yeah, straight up.
Which would make you what, like blood wise?
Fucking a mutt.
But some percentage Cherokee then. Okay.
And then you were at my 30th birthday party. I had some of my cousins from Evansville, Indiana that were like fucking straight up his nephews.
Okay.
Or like, great nephews. They fucking came. So they were
I kind of remember meeting them.
White as shit, fucking hanging out. And they were like, yeah, we're fucking cousins. I was like, this is fucking cool, man.
I remember that because I was confused.
Yeah, like why are these?
You're like, these are my cousins. I'm like, I don't know anything about you, Darius. I've known you 30 years, but I keep learning shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man.
But we got in touch with them like after a while because his family wouldn't talk to him for years because he married a black lady and had 13 kids.
Hey, good for them, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. they really stuck it to them. So
that's really the answer, I think, to all race relations. Black and white people just gotta fuck more.
Yeah.
Make babies.
I'm trying, man. Look, fiance is white as
That's
fuck.
right. Your fiance's awesome, by the way,
Yeah.
man. She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's
Met her
super
last week.
nice. It's so ridiculous how much like we're completely different people, dude.
Yeah.
She's so much not like me, and I'm so much not like her. But like,
But that's how you know it's gonna last. Because
Yeah.
Jesse and I are kind of opposites, but I need that.
Yeah.
She balances me out, and same vice versa. So,
yeah, dude. Kelly definitely does the same, man.
like you're stronger together.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, we're a good team for
Yeah.
sure. We're a good team. I take care of her and look out for her, and she does the responsible things that I don't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up.
You need her as much as she needs you.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, man, it's good. I'm lucky. We're both lucky. Shit.
we are. We're both very lucky. Well, hey, man, we've been going for like an hour and 40 already, if you can believe it.
Yep, I can believe it.
Why don't we stop this and just drink more?
All right, cool.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Peace.